after Halloween.
Hope you didn't eat too much candy with no trick-or-treaters coming around. I hope you didn't eat all your candy. Was I talking to myself?
Yeah, and we want to welcome Tom Prasada-Rao here
Hey,
with us.
good morning, everybody. Good morning.
I'm so grateful you're with us. It's been
Oh,
way
me
too
too.
long.
It's been way too long.
It has been.
Enjoyed having you sing when in the past a number of times, and are delighted that you're able to be with us this morning online and share some of your powerful new songs.
Me too. Thank you, Rudy, for inviting me.
Yes, sir.
So we begin this morning as we do each and every Sunday morning with our song Come Celebrate. So we hope you'll join us in singing that, and we'll see you shortly here with one of your songs, Tom.
All right, great.
Come celebrate, gather together, come celebrate, one by one, come celebrate, now and forever, let us remember we are one. Come celebrate, join in a circle, come celebrate, side by side, come celebrate, now and forever, let us remember we are one. Celebrate, celebrate, come celebrate, 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 come celebrate, 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 come celebrate, yes, celebrate, celebrate, come celebrate, come celebrate, gather together, come celebrate, hearts open wide, come celebrate, now and forever, let us remember we are one. We are one. We are one.
Oh, it's good to remember, right? We are one. We are in this together, all of us. So I invite you now as we prepare for our time of honoring the four directions with Earth, this place that we're so blessed to call home. And we'll turn to each of the four directions as we honor Mother Earth, as we honor this place, as we honor the all and the everything that is and that has been. O great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me. And today we're doing it a little differently. We're going to start by facing to the west, as this is the Dia de los Muertos, this time of letting go of the past, of opening up to the mystery of what's next, of honoring the direction of the setting sun, of those who have come before us. And then we'll turn and face to the north, and then to the east, and then to the south. And finally, we'll turn within that divine place in each one of us. So won't you join us, if you're able, to turn, stand, and face the west. As we open to the direction of the setting sun, of the letting go, of the opening to the mystery of what is next.
Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around.
And then we face into the north, into this direction of midnight, into the darkness and the challenges always present that are calling us to stand firm in this present moment.
Oh, great spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around.
And we begin now, we turn to the east, to the direction of the rising sun, the new beginnings, the infinite possibilities that are everywhere.
Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
And then we turn and we face to the south. We face the direction of the noonday sun, the direction of abundance and well being.
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
And finally, we turn to this place within, this realm of spirit, this infinite now that is unfolding within us and all around us.
Oh, great Spirit, earth, sun, sky, and sea, you are inside and all around me.
Together, we take this time to connect with all of creation. Four-leggeds, the winged ones, the ones that swim and crawl, rocks and trees, grasses, the seas, the skies, the stars, the ocean, with the universe, with all of life. We affirm our oneness. Together, we once again are one. To honor each other and all of creation for this and so more. We thank
And into this open space, writers in the country, I believe. Award-winning songwriter happens to be the producer. A friend to many, been played in festivals throughout. So a year of losing.
Okay, we're going to try this again. There we go.
Hello. I saw you were frozen there for a while with your hands up to your ears. That was a great picture. I wish I could have taken a screenshot of that and sent it to you. Anyway, yes, Rudy, here is The Year of Losing Things, a song I wrote with dear dear friend Grace Pettis, who is Pierce Pettis's daughter. Pierce, I believe, is one of the greatest living American songwriters, and his in his daughter, the fruit doesn't fall far from the tree at all. So here we go. This is a song we wrote in July called The Year of Losing Things. Been losing hope, losing sleep. About lost my mind in the dark and deep. Lost track of time, there goes spring. This is the year of losing things. I see yous in the I can't breathe. St. Jude, won't you pray for me? Won't you help us to believe? 'Cause this is the year of losing things. Somewhere along this road, I lost my way. Trail went cold. What good does it do to gain the world and lose my soul? About to lose my patience, lose my faith, lose my keys to the pearly gates. Guess nothing's safe as it seems in this year of losing things. Well, I lost some friends, the black and blue, the ones that swear it's all fake news. And if they all think less of me, well, this is the year of losing things. Way down in the rabbit hole, that's where the truest colors show. Guess we'll find out what next year brings after the year of losing things. And I'll miss your body in my bed, your vibrato in my head, all the songs we used to sing. But this is the year of losing things. This is the year of losing things. This is the year of losing things.
Well, thank you. I'm sorry we had a little technology hiccups there.
We
But
lost connection, losing things.
lose out. That
Wow.
song's a powerful song because it was invoking lost connections right there all of a sudden. But here we are. And great. We'll hear more from Tom again in a minute. Today's poem is by Wendell Berry, and the title is There Is No Going Back. No, no, there is no going back. Less and less, you are that possibility you were. More and more, you have become those lives and deaths that have belonged to you. You have become a sort of grave containing much that was and is no more in time. Beloved then, now, and always. And so you have become a sort of tree standing over a grave. Now, now more than ever, you can be generous toward each day that comes, young to disappear forever, and yet remain unaging in the mind. Every day, you have less reason not to give yourself away. Mm. So, as we come now to our time of communion breath, of this physical manifestation of our metaphysical oneness, I invite you as we breathe together that to remember that we are literally breathing in the same air, no matter who we are, where we are, how we are. And so together we'll take 4 long, deep communal breaths together. And as we inhale, I invite you to not just ingest the air, but to fully digest it, to take it in mindfully. And then as we exhale, to release, to let go of all that is past, so that we can come more fully present into this precious present moment now. And so together we'll inhale at the sound of the bowl, and 4 times at each ringing. Inhale. And exhale. Once more. And again. Finally, an inhale. Together we remember we are one. Now we welcome back Tom Prasada-Rao.
Here's a song called Even You. You hold up your protest sign. Feels like the end of time. It's looking tough tonight in the land of the free. It's right on my Facebook feed, all there for the world to read. And my heart starts to bleed. So this is from me. Whoever you are, whatever you've done, it's nothing that you can overcome. Whatever it is, still going through. Even so, even now, even you, the world makes us enemies, but that's not who you are to me. And I will still believe that we could be friends. I'm sure that you're struggling now. You know I am too, and how. So let's make a simple vow. It's not how this ends. Whoever you are, whatever you've done, it's nothing that you can't overcome. And whatever it is you're still going through, even so, even now, even you, when it's impossible to right the wrong, there's still a refuge where we both belong. Wherever that is, we'll make it through. Even so, even now, even you, even so, even me, even you.
Wow. Thank you.
What an inspiration you are, Tom.
Yes.
Um, those of you watching, I have to acknowledge that Tom has been dealing with cancer for the past several years, multiple rounds of chemo, and just recently discovered that he has another cancer, prostate. And his response is not to lie down and pity himself or quit, but to stand even stronger in his power, in his talent, in his determination to give his gift. And we're blessed, as so many are, by your willingness to do this, Tom, from your humble, powerful way. Whenever it's impossible to right the wrong, there's still a refuge where we belong. And wherever that is, we'll make it through. Even so, even now, even you. It's it's been almost a year and a half since I resigned as spiritual director of the Celebration Circle due to my unethical and inappropriate relationships with female members of our community. Having hit bottom personally and professionally, I began a difficult journey of discovery and recovery from my addiction to love and my reliance on marijuana to mask old wounds. I now understand that by acting out my selfish desire for love and approval in inappropriate ways, I caused pain and significant harm to my beloved wife, to my friends, circle community, family. I was wrong, and I'm very sorry for my past behaviors. I was wrong. I'm very sorry for my past behaviors. But I'm also grateful that by the grace of God, as well as the loving support of my best friend Zet and my recovery fellowship, I've learned to face and embrace my shadow self and have begun to address those old wounds openly and honestly. I've also come to understand that as painful and difficult as this experience has been for me and my loved ones, it is also a valuable gift for which I'm grateful. One that I wanted to share with others, including you, my Celebration Circle community. Not knowing how to proceed, I did what I've done so often over the past 40 years. I discussed it with my best friend, Zet.
And, in addition to being Rudy's partner of 40 years, I'm also the creative director of Celebration Circle. And so I took it to the Council of Stewards for discussion and wondering what we do with the fact that Rudi was feeling ready to share his process and how powerful sharing recovery can be for others. So the council then decided to invite Angel Santiago to engage in a discussion with Rudi about his experience, about how to examine the ways that we can bring peace to what was, to what is, what could be, not only for ourselves as individuals, but also for our Celebration Circle community. And Angel is uniquely gifted to do this. He's been a longtime member of the Celebration Circle family. He was our first spiritual leadership team member, went through that training with Rudi. He's helped me with the trainings for other spiritual leadership team classes. And he also has a background in spiritual psychology, and his passion in life is to be a life coach, a spiritual life coach. So in addition to his other skills as a graphics designer and a video producer, he was able to create a video that we're going to show you now that is a dialogue, a discussion that he and Rudi had earlier this week. And so I want to thank Angel for doing that as well. And we'll show you this video now.
Fix the bowl in such a way that it's even more beautiful than it was before it was broken. To glue it back together, not in a way to hide the cracks from that woundedness.
Conversation about the wounded healer, and it was a very good conversation. I thought so. I don't know about you.
It was a powerful experience for me, and I enjoyed being on your podcast and sharing that with folks and getting to hear us conversing that way.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. I've always learned from you. And I always learn from you for sure. So let's kind of share with the audience, what is a wounded healer to you? You are one, so what does that mean to you?
Well, first of all, to me, being a healer is someone who has offered herself up to spirit, to be a conduit for spirit to do work in the world, for spirit to be made manifest, to facilitate the process of healing, to be a spiritual companion to another as they walk their path. And to be a wounded healer is to be someone who has experienced and hopefully learned from, lived with, having sustained a wound himself, herself, and understood it to be an integral part of the healing process for myself as well as for the people that I work and play and walk alongside.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I mean, we have to be with that process within ourselves. And I have found that as I help others, they're helping me. You know, as I help ask the right question or propose an idea or a concept for someone, usually what conversation is something that can actually help me as well. It's something being reflected back as me. Ask me for me, you know?
Right.
And I don't know, I'm sure you've experienced that.
Yes, and I go back to Henry Nouwen, who was the psychologist and Catholic priest who came up with the term wounded healer, at least in our contemporary understanding of that. And he was a Catholic priest who was having increasing difficulties as he studied more and more about psychology and spirituality. He had difficulty reconciling his place in the hierarchy of the Catholic Church with what he knew about becoming and being, until he came to peace with his own woundedness as a priest and the things that had driven him to want to be a minister, a healer, but from an unhealed place in himself. And as he embraced that and faced it, he found himself not only more able to be with others, but able to bear the dynamic tension of being a priest in a hierarchical system that he didn't necessarily agree with all the time. And that his woundedness helped him be more present to himself and thereby more present to others, because that ultimately, I think that is what the wound asks us, is to be here in this imperfect human body and be open to the divine, the sacred, the infinite.
Yeah.
And hold that dynamic tension.
So true. In our conversation last time, you said something that was really impactful, and it stood out to both of us, particularly you. You mentioned that 2-year-old that was within you, who was still there, driving your life, when you compared it to when you cut a tree and you look at the rings of the tree, that core is always going to be there. So can you talk a little bit about that, like that 2-year-old and how that still or was there or still it will be there?
Well, in my case, my 2-year-old had parents who were busy. They were busy immigrating from Indonesia to Holland, and from Holland they were preparing to immigrate to the United States. They were dealing with financial struggles. They were dealing with the leftover woundedness from living through World War II and the occupation of Indonesia, all of that.
Wow.
So they were too busy for the 2-year-old to get what he wanted from mommy and daddy, that physical contact, that love me.
Mm-hmm.
And so there was that part of me that always held that as being my fault, that I wasn't enough, that if I just be more shiny, if I just be better, if I behave better, if I did things better, and then I would get the love from my parents and by extension, the love from people around me as I grew older. And there was a part of me that in years of spiritual growth and therapy and dealing with the inner process, there's a part of me that wanted to heal that 2-year-old, to make him better. And what I've come to understand in recent years, especially in the last couple of years that I'm dealing with the particular woundedness in my life, that 2-year-old will never be healed. He will always be exactly the way he was. Trying to fix him is a fool's errand. Because a 2-year-old is like the ring, like you mentioned, is like the 2-year-old ring on a tree surrounded by the 3-year-old's ring, the 4-year-old, the 5-year-old, the 100-year-old.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah,
it will always be there. Now, and if the tree suffered woundedness at 2 years, then in the 3rd year, it built scar tissue around
that
to-
wound.
But and at some level, that's what you and I and most of us do.
Mhm.
It's also been likened to being multiple passengers in a car. There's still a 2-year-old in the car with me in the back seat saying, "Love me, love me, love me."
Mhm.
And there's a 5-year-old, and there's an 18-year-old, and there's a 27-year-old, and there's a 68-year-old, hopefully being the one in the driver's seat, not the 2-year-old in the back seat, not
Wow.
the 6-year-old trying to show off for the first time for his first grade teacher,
What a visual.
not the 18-year-old trying to attract the girlfriend, but the 68-year-old who can include all of those in the car and still be the one driving and focused on traffic right now. Even if the 2-year-old screaming in the back seat, as 2-year-olds will do.
Right. You know, a similar metaphor would be, I've used this with my clients, is the operating system of our iPhones. You know, iPhone should be on iOS 12 or something like that, right? Or 13. I don't know which one it is, but it gets upgraded every year almost.
Right.
And I should be at Angel 40.0 today, ideally. But in what areas of my life am I operating from Angel 2.0,
Yeah.
8.0, 18.0, you know? And those are the things that we have to, in a way, like you said, upgrade and be, in your case, that 60-year-old that's driving the car, not the 2-year-old, not the 18-year-old, not the 8-year-old, you know? So it's a very similar concept.
And it's important to recognize that 2-year-old
Yes.
and give him his due, her due,
Yes.
when she screams out, as she will from time to time.
Yep.
And the 16-year-old and the 30-year-old. But the 60-year-old needs to be at
Right.
the wheel
Correct.
and needs to be conscious because traffic's coming.
Yep. It's like so many things going on.
Yeah, especially now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now, in 2020.
So you mentioned something about 2 years ago. As of 2 years ago, the woundedness that was still coming out. And the title of this presentation is Being at Peace with What Was, What Is, and What Could Be. So let's talk a little bit about what was for you. What does that mean to you in terms of who you are?
Well, until I was 65, I had a golden life. I had done everything I wanted to do. I had this wonderful music career. I'd been working with the Celebration Circle for 25 years at that point. I traveled all over the country singing and speaking. I'd raised this amazing son and have a wonderful daughter, a great wife, a loving home. Yay, me! And then suddenly one day I had a car wreck and it almost killed my wife, Zette. And
I remember.
It hurt my knee a lot. And it for the first time in our lives, we were in the doctor's office every other week for something.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't just a knee. Suddenly my back hurt and my hearing was going out and I had sleep apnea. And blah, blah, blah. Suddenly I was 65 and hurting and wondering, what am I doing with my life? I had a sort of a near-death experience in the process of getting hit 80 miles an hour T-bone.
Well, I believe Zed was
And
pronounced.
they were worried she was,
Right.
she left in the helicopter unconscious for the ride. And So when we survived that, there was a question, well, what now? What are we here to do? We've done the circle for 25 years. Why? And
What a moment.
in the process of dealing with the anxiety of that and the healing and the physical pain that lived with us for a while, I started smoking more pot and deal with the pain, deal with the anxiety. And I didn't become aware of that until one day I acted out inappropriately with a woman that I knew that was part of the circle family. And in the process of that, I had to face up to my addictions, to smoking. But more than that, in the process of recovering from that woundedness and from stepping down from the circle, I had to come to a place of facing that 2-year-old in me that for 60 plus years had been screaming for attention, and to come to peace with the fact that I had built a life and a lifestyle, a profession around getting attention for being me, singing pretty songs, saying wise words, serving spirit, all with 100% good intention, but without being aware of the shadow that was driving me
Right.
forward. I was wanting to serve the light, be of help to God and to my fellow people from a sincere place. But it was driven by a
You're
two-year-old.
being pushed.
Pushed.
Right.
By, I need more attention. Love me now. Hold me. And I had to come to peace with the fact that at some level I'm a love addict, needing more love than I get. I am in the middle of a 12-step recovery process. I'm working the program. I have been for a year and a half.
Awesome.
And coming to peace with what was, which was a hungry, needy 2-year-old driving a 65-year-old, 66-year-old, 7-year-old's life. Coming to peace with the aspirations of the golden boy who graduated from college on scholarship and was going off to get a recording contract and then serving God, that one who wanted to be over there where things were brighter and shinier and more successful. All of that which was still riding in the car and driving all too often. That's what was. And coming to peace with what was has been the greatest gift of my life. As much as it hurt me personally, as much as it hurt my family, and much as it hurt the circle community when I had to step down from a place of shame, sadness over my unethical behavior. I now see it was a real gift. It was the only way Spirit knew how to make me pay attention to the shadow that had been driving the vehicle. And it tried through the car wreck. Getting hit at 80 miles an hour
Right.
wasn't enough to make me come to peace. Oh, let me just up the ante here a little bit. And so my soul coming out sideways and being driven by shadow to act out unethically was what it took for me to be shocked to my core and come down to my knees and ask Spirit for help in healing this rift with my shadow.
Right.
That's what was.
You know, there's something to be said about, wow.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Let me just
no,
breathe into that for a second.
Definitely.
I say it glibly, but there's
Painful road.
it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. And I have to stop in this moment and just give thanks to Spirit and to my amazing partner, Zed, and to the many friends, yourself included, who said, you know, we're here with you. Keep walking your walk best you can.
Yep.
We're here with you. And I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for you. Grateful for the circle community and friends and Zed. And this opportunity to come fresh into what is. Because
that's part of the thing. Like, you know, when that moment came and there is a thing that happens to people like you, to people like me, you get put on this pedestal, you know? And when you put people on pedestals, there is no room for their humanness. There's absolutely zero room for that person to be human, to make mistakes, to err, you know? And the moment you do, you get crucified. And part of the reason why I started the podcast and I started that conversation is because I wanted to create awareness that you're not on this path and I'm not on this path because we're masters of it. You know, we're on this path because we're trying to figure it out. We're willing to go and figure it out. We're willing to step out there and feel the pain and feel the shadow and feel the light, like feel the whole spectrum of it all, but not because we're masters of it, because we're in it right along with you. And I think that's the biggest difference. And I would say, if I could encourage anyone, is not to put anybody on a pedestal, because we're all human beings and we're spiritual beings. There is a duality, but our spirituality is trying to help us be better human beings, not stop being human beings.
Right.
You know? And I think that's something that through people's own woundedness, because again, people are going to look at your story through the lenses of their own woundedness. So if you bring up woundedness in me that I've been avoiding for years and years and years and years, I'm avoiding it for a reason. I don't want to look at that.
Right.
And you're bringing it up. So let me get after you. You know, you need to pay the price because you're the one bringing it up. I don't want to deal with this. So I think there was also part of that in the what was and leading into what is. So what is? How do you make peace with what is now? You know?
Well, I think we're all dealing with that question, particularly in COVID times. There's a woundedness inside of me as a person. There's a wounded inside of us as a society.
Yeah, a collective society.
A collective society paying the consequences for how we've treated the environment and how we've gotten out of balance with the earth and with our body, mind, spirit. And as we sit here socially distanced having this conversation outside, to take all those precautions, that's what we're all being asked to do, is to become increasingly aware of our relationship with each other. And that's certainly what the case is for me at what is, where I am now in my path of healing, both as a person, in my family unit, in my celebration circle community, is try to be increasingly aware of my relationship and to remember that as much as I like thinking just about me and making me the most important person, at any given moment, I'm in a co-creative relationship with whoever I'm in contact with,
Right.
whether it's my wife of 40 years or you as my friend or a person who's coming to the circle for the very first time. We're in a co-creative dance, and I need to be respectful of and careful with that relationship. That's what is. And I think we as a culture, we as a spiritual community called Celebration Circle, and I as a human am asked to be aware of how powerful my actions are at every moment of every day.
So
To be
good.
aware of the power of my thoughts and my actions and take responsibility for it.
And so with that, how do you make peace with what could be? Because I mean,
Well-
your what was and what is are going to impact what's coming. So
Yes. So for one thing, as a wounded healer, I take some comfort in the Japanese concept of kintsugi, which is comes from the awareness that if a precious ceramic object is broken, you take it to a kintsugi specialist, someone who specializes in using a gold epoxy blend to fix the bowl in such a way that it's even more beautiful than it was before it was broken. To glue it back together, not in a way to hide the cracks, but to emphasize the cracks with gold, with precious metal that shows itself in how the kintsugi master puts the bowl back together. And in that way, as a person who has been wounded, who is healing from that woundedness through the recovery process, I am tasked with wearing my wound with gold. Not as a source of pride, look at me, I
Right.
survived, but as a person who says, I'm here in my woundedness.
I've lived through some
I've
shit.
lived through some stuff, and I'm here. I wear my wounds. I'm not here to hide or pretend I'm not there, so that I can be with you and your wounds, your sorrows, your joys, and your confusion, which all of us are facing.
Yep.
Particularly in the COVID times. How do we move into tomorrow? Well, we move in tomorrow with our woundedness openly displayed, or at least not hidden away, not pretending it's there, with faith that we can co-create together in relationship, but also with spirit, constantly co-create a future in which we are more sustainable, more equitable, more just, more able to be in a relationship that fosters the highest good for us all, not just for me, because I'm the more important, but for us, for all of us. I believe it's possible.
Yeah.
I have to believe it's possible. Which is why I'm excited to be present in this moment. talking to you
Mm-hmm.
about the possibility of a tomorrow that has room for more than we can currently imagine.
I love that. You know, I had a call with a past client that wanted to check in with me. She's been seeing what I'm up to on social media, and it caught her attention. And she said, you know, I think you've been through something. Just the way you're coming across. You must have gone through something. And I got really curious. What lesson is he getting out of whatever he just went through? You know, so she called just to check in and see where I was at. And my point with that is, you just said something. I've lived through some stuff. And if I'm going to go to a mentor, if I'm going to go through a coach or a spiritual guide, I want them to have gone through some stuff. Because otherwise, where are you going to draw wisdom from? What could you possibly teach me? If your life is perfect and nothing's happened to you, I mean, what could you possibly help me with?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the value of what wounded healers bring to the world. Hey, I've been through some stuff. Here's my experience. If you choose to accept my guidance, I hope it resonates with you. I hope it helps you. I hope we can co-create a relationship here. But I've been through some stuff, and here's what I got to say. You know? And so I think that's the value of what you bring to the table, what I bring to the table. You know, I still got 20 years to go to where you're at. but nonetheless,
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the value of it, you know?
Well, one thing I know is that for 27 years, I enjoyed being the spiritual leader of Celebration Circle. It was good work, I'm proud of it. But I also know it came from that place of the wounded 2-year-old. I also know that at some level it was really tiring to try to be the one in control of things, the spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've learned is I am a spiritual leader.
Mm-hmm.
Even in this time of recovery, people keep coming to me for guys to officiate their wedding, their funeral. There's work to be done. But what I know is I'm no longer the spiritual leader. I am working in co-creation with others, with spirit. And that is more powerful that way.
I agree.
The way I tried to do it before was exhausting. I couldn't sustain it, and I didn't know how to let go of it. So spirit pried it from my hands the only way it knew. My hands the only way it knew how. I think.
Mm-hmm.
Or my soul pried it from. Who knows?
Who knows?
I could analyze it till the cows come home. What I do know is I've been called to a place of being a co-creator, and still learning that skill. I hope to learn from you and for everybody else I encounter as we move forward as a community, as individuals, toward that oneness that we all know to be the truth.
I agree. I think if anything we can draw from what we're going through and what you've been through, it's to be at peace with what is and not make it be more than what it is. You know, let's just be with what is and see what emerges. I mean, that's really all we can really do.
Yeah.
You know?
And you got to do it by yourself, but you don't have to do it alone.
You don't have to do it alone. I love that. It's so true. We're all in this together. Yeah. Like, seriously, I know they say that about the COVID times, but that's much bigger than COVID. Like, we're really in this together. So with that being said, Rudi, thank you so much for taking the time, for not only that, but for the willingness that you stepped out on your own. You stepped down on your own, out of your own. You volunteered yourself, and you dove deep into the shadow work. You're doing your work. You're doing your recovery. You're still doing it, and you're looking for a better tomorrow. You know? So thank you so much for doing that and for sharing that with us.
My pleasure.
Appreciate you.
So thank you, Angel. Thank you, Rudi. I appreciate your words, Angel, about to be at peace with what is and see what emerges as we work towards together this, a better tomorrow. And so feeling that past, the present moment, and what can be in the future. I know that's true for you and Rudy as you discussed it, but it's also true for our whole community and for our country as we move through this time of COVID, as we move into this final election season, final days of that. And because today is Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, I felt like it was a good time to both focus on releasing and embracing the past, just as we are both releasing and embracing our loved ones who have passed. I invite you to sit with me for a moment here in this time of meditation, to breathe deeply and to breathe quietly together as we sit, as we feel into our physical body, even as you open to consciousness, to embrace your metaphysical self, as you return again and again to the land of your soul, to this place of the heart. Return again to the place you never really left and that you can never leave, to who you truly are. Often it's so easy for us to forget. But right here and right now, let yourself soften. Soften your breath. Soften your body. Soften your shoulders, your face muscles, your chest, your heart. Soften. Right here, right now. Allow yourself to open to the mysteries and the miracles of life. As well as the seemingly mysterious realm of death. And know that only good will come of your willingness to do this. Know that the boundaries of consciousness are infinite, beyond comprehension of our human mind. But that your divine self, your soul, is fully capable of being at peace with all of it right now, right here. Breathing calmly and fully. Once you surrender your need to be in control of anything, of everything, allow yourself to open to the truth of the eventual physical death of your body, even as you feel into the truth of eternal life. Breathe into this knowledge that death is but an illusion of our human mind. For you cannot die. For you are and always will be one with all of life, eternal, free, and unlimited. Know that there is nothing to fear in facing and embracing a natural sense of sadness and separation around our human death. And whether it's your own or a loved one, know and remember and feel into your body that all is one, all is well, all shall be well. Today and tomorrow and all of our tomorrows. Peace, be still. Peace, be still. And know that we are one with all of life. May all beings be blessed by our willingness to remember and to live from this place of being at peace with the illusion of death as we connect heart to heart today and all of our todays, all of our tomorrows. And so it is. Now we invite Tom back for another song, a fitting song, 10,000 Sorrows.
May I know whatever happens, all is well with my soul, though the world and the future are beyond my control. May I hear off in the distance that still small voice singing of 10,000 sorrows, dancing with 10,000 joys. May I trust that in the darkness I can finally see the light, cast my sins upon the waters, let them go and say goodnight. May I find my absolution, that to forgive is a choice that leads to 10,000 sorrows, dancing with 10,000 joys. The lovers meet in the hour of grace, at long last that sweet embrace finally dancing face to face. May I live to meet the morning, to greet the rising sun, before I finally meet my maker. Say, my Lord, my work is done. May I dream the dream of angels. May I ever rejoice in the realm of 10,000 sorrows, dancing with 10,000 joys.
10,000 sorrows and 10,000 joys dancing together. Oh, what a poet you are, brother.
Yes.
Thank you. Wow.
Oh, it did my heart good to be with you today.
And likewise, yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, all of you, for your love and your support and your comments and for being here and being committed to your own path as we are. So I want to just take some time to ask you to support the work of the circle as we lift up the offering basket and symbology and as we consider our gifts, our financial gifts, supporting the work of the circle and keeping us going, keeping us online for Sundays and Wednesdays and other things to come. So as we hold up our offerings in our hands and our hearts, we speak the words, I give to you, O Spirit, as you have given to me, with heart wide open. Together,
I give to you, O Spirit, as you have given to me, with heart wide open.
So again, I want to thank Angel and Rudy and Tom for being here with us. And Carl, thank you for posting all the comments and links. You can find out more about each of them through these links that are in the comments section.
And I want to point especially to the links to Tom's amazing collection of music that's available online. He gives it freely out into the world, knowing, trusting that he'll be supported in return. And he's just done an amazing job of being a balladeer of the heart during these difficult times of the COVID and this election season and his own physical struggles. He's just sung about it with such passion, humanity. And you'll what you heard this morning is just the tip of the iceberg of the great treasure trove of Tom Prasada-Rao work. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Be sure and check it out online.
Yeah, he's got a YouTube channel with lots of great videos on it. So a reminder that Meditation Circle happens every Wednesday night from 7:30 to 8:30 Central Time. And that is with Angel, Santiago, and Graham Whitley alternating weeks. And then our Mandala Intention Workshop with Natalie Burtonshaw is happening on Monday, November 9th from 5:30 to 7:30, and a little new time change. So, and then it'll happen again in December on the 12th. And you can find that on our Facebook events page. And last, I know you have heard it a lot and you're hearing it a lot and you're getting texts and emails and phone calls, but vote on Tuesday. And I think Carl's going to post, if you don't know where your polling locations are or where you need to be, a link to that and how you can vote as long as you're registered. So what else? Thank you.
Thank you.
And so we remember that no matter where we go or what we do, that love is the only power. And that is what keeps us going, keeps us here, keeps us connected So thank you, thank you, thank you. As we join together singing Love is the Only Power.
In the key of E, Tom.
In the key of E.
Love is the only power. Love is the only way. Love, 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 love. Watch our circle grow. Love is the only power. Love is the only way. Love, 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 love. Watch our circle grow.
So thank you, each and every one of you for being here. And I hope I mentioned it in my Around the Circle article that I hope you'll create your own Dia de los Muertos altar. I want to just take a moment to share. We just kind of created this one spontaneously today for today. Our families, our parents, and Sean Benson, of course, who passed recently. Our dear friend Crazy Horse Moreno, and Gary Whitford and Kathleen Summers, and just heard that Linda on Coney passed yesterday. So
Consider
anyway,
taking a photo and posting it on our Facebook page to show us your Dia de los Muertos altar as you embrace your loved ones.
yes.
And again, thanks to Brother Tom Prasada-Rao.
Maybe one more?
Oh, that's not fair to ask.
Would you do another one?
You can't just ask
Oh,
that.
maybe. Yeah. So
Okay. Good.
it's been a while since I've done this song, so it's called Beautiful You. Consider the lilies of the field, how they neither sow nor reap, but still God's beauty is revealed. He watches over them in their sleep. So will he not do so for you? Oh, my little orphan child, when your long dark night is through, you will see the morning smile. Look up, have faith, your dreams away. You beautiful, you. Everybody knows the truth. You were such a reckless fool. You spent your brilliant youth chasing your rainbows, your shadows too. Don't think you've lost your way, 'cause you're standing at the door. It's not easy to pretend, but you are the one you've been waiting for. Look up, have faith, your dreams away. You beautiful, you. Before you were born, God already knew you, knew you. So ask and you'll receive, seek and you will find. It's not easy to believe, that the water has turned to wine. But look up and faith, your dreams away. You beautiful, you.
Oh, man, every one of them just touches my heart in such a deep way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful you.
Beautiful you.
Beautiful yous.
Beautiful you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And just a reminder that we love you. We bless you. We see the light in you. Go in peace.